What is up everyone and welcome to another tutorial. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to do sky replacements. This tutorial is inspired by Andreas Hem. There will be a link to his video in the description. Make sure to check that out because he's way better at this than I am. That is a very good introduction to this video. I hope you didn't click off. If you didn't, thank you guys so much. Here is the tutorial on how to do a sky replacement. The first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to import the clips to After Effects. What we're going to do is that we're going to add these clips. What is really important here is that we make sure that this clip is added first because we want this to fit the composition. I'll explain that later, maybe. Probably. What we're going to do is we're going to find the part that we want to use, and then I'm going to add this clip as well, just underneath. And this composition is way too long, so we're going to go to composition settings, remove this 0 and make it like 20 seconds. We have some seconds to play around with. Here we have the clip that we want to replace the sky on. It's pretty simple. What we're going to do is that we're going to go to the first frame. Just make sure you're at the first frame. Very nice. What we're going to do is that we're going to go up here, press the roto brush tool, and then double click the clip that you want to use it on. So now we're in here, we're in a new layer. What we're going to do is that we're just simply going to press the mouse, drag it across the sky, and then it's going to find the edges for us. As you can see, it's made a little mistake here, and we're just simply gonna do something like this, and then it's gonna remove that by itself. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna press space, and then it's gonna find these edges 20 frames forward. As you can see right here, it's already done it. And we're gonna go forward, and as you can see right here, that's where it stops. So we're just gonna do it again. And then it finds the edges and press space. And then it's gonna find the next 20 frames. And as you can see now we have 40 frames, and we're just gonna do this as long as we want. So if you want like 3 seconds, 4 seconds, maybe 18, I don't know. That is all up to you. It just takes a little longer to get that far. As you can see, my computer is working really fast today, and that is a very positive sign. It usually doesn't work this fast, so that's very good. And I am now 2 seconds. I'm just gonna make this like 4 or 5 seconds or something like that. And you're just gonna keep doing this until you've reached the length that you want. Okay, so I've now made it just about 4 seconds long. That should be plenty. What we're gonna do now is that we're gonna make the edge right here, we're gonna make this more smooth. So we're just gonna go back to the beginning, and then we're gonna go up here to roto brush tool, press Alt and W to change this into the refine edge tool. I didn't actually know it was called that, but now we know that. Now we have this tool instead. What we're gonna do is that we're gonna drag the mouse and mark the line like this, and we're just gonna drag this all the way to the end, and then it's gonna make this more smooth transition. What we're gonna do now is that we're gonna press space, and we're gonna do it all over again. And then we're gonna go to frame number 20, do it again. There we go. It's gonna find the edge and press space. We're just gonna continue all the way to the end. And yeah, this can take a while depending on the hardware that you're dealing with. And now we have the whole thing ready. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna go back to the composition, press here, and then you can see that we've cropped out this part right here. We want to invert that because we want to replace the sky and not the main thing right here. So we're gonna go up here, press invert foreground and background. Pretty simple, it's gonna invert these two. There we go. So now we have a black background, and obviously we want to replace this with another sky. So I've made this time lapse that I'm just gonna put behind, just as an example. Okay, so I've shortened this down, and this is how it looks just by simply putting the time lapse behind it. And this looks pretty good already. Looks pretty damn good. Okay, but we're gonna make some adjustments to make this even better. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna press Control D, create a duplicate of this clip. What we're gonna do is that we're gonna remove the effect on this one, so we now have a regular clip. Go out here, right click, track camera. And now it's gonna analyze the clip and track the camera movement of the clip. And this is so that we can make the time lapse move accordingly to this clip. I hope I explained that right. Okay, so now we are done tracking the camera. As you can see, it has created all these little dots right here. They're extremely small right now, so we're just gonna go over here to track point size and make them a lot bigger. So they're actually somewhat watchable. Usually you would go for the points in the sky, but as you can see, unfortunately, it didn't find anything in the sky, so we're gonna have to go with these down here instead. So if you have the possibility of doing this with points that are placed in the sky, then please do that instead of this. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna see if I can find some proper ones. If the circle is round, there is a pretty good chance that you have found a decent one. I can see this is somewhat round, and as you can see, I'm actually struggling to find a proper combination. I think this is the best possible outcome I can get. We can just test it by doing like this. I don't think I can make this any better, so that is very unfortunate with this kind of technique. But however, I hope that you have some tracking points in the sky that you can use instead of what I just did. Anyway, what we're gonna do is that we're just simply gonna remove this clip because we don't need it. Instead, we're gonna place it on top of the solid. Beautiful solid right here. So how we're gonna do that is that we're gonna go up to the clip that we want to replace it, and we're gonna press hold down Alt, and then we're gonna drag it on top of the solid. And as you can see, it now has replaced the solid. And we're gonna put this down in the bottom. Then we're just gonna quickly mute this one. And then you can see that this is replacing the sky. In this clip, it doesn't actually make a huge difference because the camera movement is pretty basic. The camera movement in this clip is pretty basic. It's going forward in a slow tempo, so it doesn't really make a huge difference. So in the video, I actually didn't do this. However, if you're replacing the sky in a clip that is moving to the side or has a bit more of a dynamic movement to the clip instead of just going straight forward slowly, like in this clip, this is gonna help you out a lot. And if you have some tracking points in the sky, this is gonna be a lot easier. So that is something I would recommend you to do if this is actually possible. But in this clip, it doesn't really work. And then you're probably wondering, why the hell would you go through all of this? It is because it does make a huge difference when it actually works. You can go to Andreas Hem's channel and watch an example over there. Link in the description. Great. So I'm just gonna put the time lapse in right here, and then we're gonna customize it exactly like I did in the video. So we still have this clip where we remove the effect, and we're gonna keep that clip and we're gonna make it viewable again. What I usually like to do is that I'm gonna create a fade so the sky fades into the transition. The way I'm gonna do that is that I'm gonna go to effects and presets. I'm gonna search in Luma key. I'm gonna drag Luma key down to the clip on top, and what we're gonna do is that we're gonna select key out brighter, and then we're gonna drag this all the way up to the top. You can already see the effect here right there. Gonna drag this all the way to the top, create a keyframe, make sure you're at the first frame, create a keyframe. No, I'm actually gonna drag this a little bit forward now that I think about it. And now create a keyframe and then go like good while forward. There we go. And as you can see, it creates this fade. It is a little bit quick, and then perhaps actually make it a little bit longer. Okay, so this is how it looks now, a little bit longer. Great, it looks a lot better. And what I also like to do is to color correct the clip right here, because we still have this clip. This is two completely different clips. So you actually remove this clip entirely, but because these two clips match, you don't actually see that you remove this clip entirely. So if you color correct this clip right here, it's gonna create this Luma fade transition onto a color correction, which looks a lot better than it sounds. What I like to use is hue and saturation, just a tiny little color correction. I'm gonna color grade this clip entirely, so we don't want to mess with it too much. What I like to do is to up the saturation, because in this case, as you can see, we have skies. We have a blue sky and some sun over here. And this clip below right here is it still matches that cloudy day. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna up the saturation to make it more colorful, so it fits the sky up here instead of the cloudy sky. So we up the saturation a little bit. I'm also gonna up the brightness and contrast a little bit. So I'm gonna add that right there. Most the contrast, just up the contrast a little bit. Just like that. So now it fits the sky a little bit more. And this is how it looks when it is done. Here comes the fade and the colors come in as well. And this is basically the sky replacement. This is how you do it. Obviously you can try and customize this as much as you can. Use the 3D tracker in different circumstances than in this case, but make sure to use it if you can. And then just try and play around with it and see if you can find something else that makes it look good. You can also use this technique in a different manner. Here is an example. I have this clip right here of me looking absolutely fabulous. So we place this on top. You can see, I'm just quickly, it doesn't really matter. And then you can see it finds the edges right here. And then you can put yourself in the clip. And as you can see, this is extremely rough. This is just an example. You can't do it like this. Obviously, yeah, this is actually really bad, but this is just an example, so don't mind that. So you can use this for multiple things, not just sky replacements. That is something that you can write down, remember that. But yeah, this is the tutorial. I hope you learned something new today. I hope this is helpful, and I hope this is something that you can use in your videos. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave that like, also subscribe. There's plenty of room. I will see you guys next time with, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. Goodbye.